Okay, I think we're currently live. So once again, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, or good night, whatever time you are listening or wherever country you're joining us from. You're welcome to the Elite Book Readers Club book review session. And this is the month of August, so we're in the August book review session where we're reviewing a very powerful book titled Power of Now, written by Eckhart Tolle. So before we go into the discussion for today, just for the sake of new members or if you're joining us for the first time, um, you can just drop a comment on LinkedIn or YouTube or whatever platform you're joining us from, and let us know your name and the country you're joining us from. Okay, so I'll be checking the chats right away. So let me check. Let me check. Let me check. Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I can't see anything yet in the comment section or trying to be sure I'm checking the right channel. Okay, real life. Okay, yeah, yeah. Okay,
Real
so
life.
please kindly tell us
So
the,
kindly tell
the
us
state.
the, the state
Where am I can hear myself
where
back.
I can hear myself back.
So,
So,
okay, we have Isaac from
okay, we have
Canada.
Isaac from Canada.
Sorry, I can get
Sorry,
some
I can
feedback.
get some feedback.
Oh,
Oh,
I think
I
Miss
think
Ricard, do you want to mute your
Mr. Curry, do you
mic?
want to mute your mic?
You say what?
I think the feedback is coming from
I
your
think
end.
the feedback is coming from your end.
Okay, let me off my mouth. Okay, let me off it. Let me off it.
Yeah, okay, thanks. Yeah. Good. Okay, wherever you're joining us from, please drop that in the group chat. Yeah, whether from LinkedIn, from YouTube, yeah, we want to see that comment. Yeah, yeah. So, um, while we're doing that, let me just introduce the Elite Book Readers Club to you for the sake of our first timers. So, at the Elite Book Readers Club, our vision is to redefine human potentials through literature. Our mission is to sculpt a future where human potential knows no bound, empower young minds to shatter the barriers of conventional thinking, and guide them on a transformative journey of self evolution, pushing the envelope of creativity, impact, and visionary leadership. So, to simply put it forward, our mission is to sculpt the future, right? For you, for everyone, for every tip right out there, we want to change their minds of conventional thinking. And I think this book is a very um, contentious book in the sense that it challenges so many conventional thinking. So it's even related with our mission, right? We are trying to challenge our conventional thinkings and try to see things beyond the scope that we know of, right? And at the end of it all, we hope that you would be on a transformative journey of self evolution, right? I mean, modifying yourself, transforming yourself, you know, doing the things that you thought you could never do before, right? That's what we hope to achieve from this session. And by so doing, maybe from the books you read, you can become a better professional at your job because you have become more creative. You become a leader who understand how to communicate, how to build good relationships. So that is what we hope to achieve, right? We This is not a club for book lovers. It's a club where we pursue personal development and see book as a tool towards that achievement, right? So we currently focus our themes on three book themes. The first one is personal growth and development. That's category number one. Category number two is financial planning and management. Then we have relationship building and emotional intelligence. Yeah, those are the three core areas we feel that if you have a good balance of those three core areas, uh, it should affect you in terms of your academics, your finances, your spiritual life, your professional career, and different aspect of your life. Right. In fact, even as regarding relationship, your relationship with people generally and with your spouse, right? So, once again, welcome to the book review session. I'm super excited. I don't know if you're excited as I am. So, but before I go further, let me introduce those who are here with me. I am not here alone. I have two other special reviewers who are joining me on this session. So I have Esther Eyawagwa. I'm sorry if I did not pronounce the surname very well. Well, I have Esther here with me. She's a book writer. She goes with a pen name, Mineral Lit Pen, and she's a process engineer. So she's also a member at TBRC. I have Rukere. She's a researcher and lecturer at the University of Benin, Nigeria, and she's a Tibright also. Okay. So you can see this time around, we don't have many people on our panel. So it means that we would have a lot of things to discuss and everyone would have to discuss. Just like we do in TBRC, or as the T Bright already know, uh, this we are just like a special reviewer because this channel cannot contain everyone. But we are very active on the LinkedIn channel and the YouTube channel to see your comments and see your contributions. So we are all reviewing this book together, right? I wanted to get that. We are all reviewing this book together. So drop your comment, drop what you have gained from the book, engage in the conversation, and I hope you enjoy it all together. Okay. Yeah, so let me just get a feedback from Esther. So Esther, welcome. I hope you're super excited as I am. Hi Esther, can you hear me? Okay. Rukere, can you hear me? Okay, I can't hear anyone. Let me make
Okay, I
sure.
can't hear anyone.
I can
Let
hear
me
you. I can
sure.
hear you. I can hear you.
Oh, okay, good, 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 good.
Okay, good, good.
I can hear you.
Yeah, good. So is it
Yeah, good.
possible that
So is
you
it
don't
possible that you
connect
don't
to
connect
your
to your
LinkedIn simultaneously or
LinkedIn
to other channels
simultaneously or to other
simultaneously?
channels simultaneously?
Because it's giving back some
Because it's giving
echo.
back some
I can hear
echo.
myself.
I can hear myself.
I only switch on my mic from here. I'm not on LinkedIn. I'm
Oh,
just
so
on
you're
my
not
phone.
you're not
Oh,
watching the
so
session from
you're
another
not watching
phone.
the session from another one?
No, just from this studio stream. I restrain. I'm on.
Oh,
Oh,
just wondering why I'm getting
just wondering
feedbacks.
why I'm getting feedbacks.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine anyway.
Okay, it's fine. It's fine anyway.
Okay.
Okay.
So
So
yeah, let's get into the
yeah,
session
let's
right
get
away.
into the session right away.
Okay. Maybe you mute yourself. Can you mute your mic, please? Because I can't get this
Maybe you.
feedback.
Teacher, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now, Esther.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, yeah. I don't know what is happening to this platform. Maybe there's just feedback from here and there, but I think I can hear you perfectly. No feedbacks, but I could hear some feedback from Rukere. So okay, let's go straight into the session. 10 minutes already gone. So this is a publisher's summary of the book. So I'll read it out just as it is written before we give our own additional comments, right? So to make the journey into the power of now, you need to leave your analytical mind and its false created self. the ego behind. Access to the now is everywhere in the body, the silence, and the space all around you. These are the keys to enter a state of inner peace. They can be used to bring you into the now, the present moment where problems do not exist. It is here you find your joy and are able to embrace your true self. It is here you discover that you are already complete and perfect. Although the journey is challenging, Eckhart Tolle offers simple language in a question and answer format. The words themselves are the signposts to guide you on your journey. There are new
Format
discoveries to
are the
be made
signposts to
along the
guiding your
way.
journey. There are new discoveries to be
You
made
are
along
not
the
your
way.
mind.
You are not your
You
mind.
can find this. Oh
You can
gosh.
find this.
Uh,
Oh
Please, can you mute
gosh.
your mind,
Uh,
please?
Please, can you mute your mind, please?
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So there are new discoveries to be made along the way. You are not your mind. You can find your way out of psychological pain. Um, Authentic human power is found by surrendering to the now. When you become fully present and accepting of what is, and accepting what is, you open yourself to the transforming experience of the power of now. So this is what the publisher wrote as the summary of the book. And this is the author's bio. So Eckhart Tolle is a teacher, author, and entrepreneur. He's a German-born resident of Canada, best known as the author of The Power of Now and A New Earth, Awakening to Your Life Purpose. Tolle does not identify with any specific religion, but he has been influenced by multiple spiritual works. It reminds me of someone I met while in the US. Yeah, she's Indo Jewish, like a combination of Hinduism with Jewish, like. And I've met some like that combination of so many things. And like I don't practice any particular religion. I'm just influenced by any spirituals. It's good. I mean, nothing is bad. So the book chapters are obviously you have the introduction. They have chapter one talking about your mind. Chapter two, consciousness, the way out of pain. Chapter three, which is moving deeply into the now, mind strategies for avoiding the now, the state of presence, the inner body, portals into the unmanifested, enlightened relationships. Beyond happiness, there is peace. The meaning of surrender. Yeah, so I mean, this book is really a great book. So I mean, right, very soon we'll be going to the discussion. So, Esther, do you want to tell me, like, how do you feel reading this book? Like, just try not to give too much information uh, before going to the book review. Just kind of give me this kind of feeling you experienced when you read the book. And then it's a bit like a
Okay.
spiritual book. Yeah.
Can I turn on my video?
If you want to, yeah, that works.
Okay. Um,
And good. Nice to
the
see your face.
same here. I really don't know. I don't know. I don't know how to express how I felt while reading the book. I think at some point I felt suspended. Like,
Hmm. I
see, it
like
was a
that word.
roller coaster of emotions. It wasn't at one point I was like, oh, so that is what that is. Another point I was like, what is he writing? Another point I was like, I think
Exactly.
I can't wait to be done with this book. Like just pass over, that kind of thing. So it wasn't just one feeling, it was a roller coaster of emotions. And I can't wait to hear what you guys have to say about this book. I actually have to
Like,
get the hard copy.
I'm telling, like, I was I've been really thinking that, okay, how would the book review session really be like? Like the book is very
Honestly.
paradoxical. Like so many
Yes.
things like that do not sound very logical. like very counterintuitive.
Yeah.
Like, okay, what is this trying to say? And that's why at the beginning of the book, he gave
Exactly.
a very good introduction by saying, try not to comprehend what I'm saying with your logical mind because you
Yes.
almost
Yes.
able to grasp it.
He did
And it was very
warn
right.
us. So
I
yes.
finished it. I
Yes.
was
He
like,
does.
gosh, what's this guy saying? But maybe it has the life of philosophers. They say things that like you're like, okay, what are they saying? Because our mind tries to like interpret things like at the face value of things,
Mm,
like the way you see it, without having to think too deeply, without having to meditate on that word. You just want to get the meaning of that stuff. You don't want to disturb yourself.
yeah.
And so this kind
Yeah.
of book is something that one cannot understand from the face value. You have to go beyond
Honestly.
face value to the place value, like, and begin to place in statements with, okay, I get this, and trying to like
Yes.
exactly. There will be a lot of some feedbacks that you've had before in terms of your personal experience. You're like, are you sure this thing really makes sense? It's just
Yes.
rambling
Yes. Yes. Yes.
nonsense. At the same time,
Yes.
you know
There
within
are many
yourself that
points
it
like
makes
that.
sense.
Yes. Honestly, it was just from here to there, from here to there.
Yeah, yeah. I thought I was the only one. I was like, gosh, this
No,
is.
yeah, yeah, that's alone.
Yeah, Rick, do you want to say yours? I just really hope there's no feedback from your end in terms of like the microphone issue. Okay, so Rick, so let's just hear your feeling like what how do you feel reading the book? How was it like to you? And yes, for those who are just for those who are following us online, please drop your feedback. I'm reading them. My phone is also connected here, so I can see your comments. Okay. Yes, yes, yes. So how do you feel, or how did you feel when you read the book? Let's have it. Let's have it. Um, Look, you can speak now. I think our mic is still mute.
Okay.
Fine. Yes, it's working fine now.
Fine. Yes, it's working fine now.
Oh, the feedback.
Oh,
Jeez.
the
Okay.
feedback.
Esther, can you get any feedback? Like, am I the only one getting that feedback?
Yes, I can. I can hear the feedback.
Okay, okay, okay. Um, how do we do this? Okay, okay.
Okay.
Okay, I'm trying to know what
Trying
to
to
do.
know what to do.
Okay, let's continue. So we have
Let's continue. So
peace,
we
we
have
have Chickadee, we
peace, we
have
have
Joshua,
Judy, we have Joshua,
yeah, we have Isaac.
yeah, we have Isaac.
Uh, this is sluggy to be very.
This is okay to
I mean, I don't know if I'm the only
I
one
mean,
getting
I
this
don't know if
feedback.
I'm the only one getting this feedback.
You're not the only one. I can hear the
You're not the
feedback.
only one. I can hear the feedback.
So, Rika, please, can you mute your mic, please? I don't know
Richard,
what's
please, can
happening.
you
Oh,
mute your
how
mic,
about
please? I
we
don't know
both
what's
mute
happening.
our
Okay,
mics
she wants
How
to.
when
about
she
we
wants
both
to speak?
mute our mics when she wants to speak?
Okay, I think
Okay,
it's
that
okay
works.
now.
That works.
So
Okay, that works. That works.
The Power of Now, a very wonderful book, and I first read this book few months ago. It was among the list of book I planned to read for this year. So I read it few months
Mm.
ago, and when I saw it as a book of the month, I was so happy. So I quickly went back and went through again, and it's a very wonderful book. And it's just a good for this time because
Oh, now the network has happened. Okay, hopefully we can get her back because she usually have like very insightful reviews to give on any book we read. So
Mm.
for those just joining, I mean, like network issues is a very common thing. Should I say Nigeria? But
I
uh,
was waiting for that part, but no problem.
yeah, it's fine. It's fine. It's
I'm
fine.
sorry for that break in transmission, please. It's
It's,
network. I don't know why.
yeah, it's fine.
Oh, it's better now.
Okay.
Oh, this time around, no, no, even.
Okay. Can I go on
Yes.
now?
No,
Yes, yes, good. Yeah, you can go on.
Can I go
Yes, yes, you can.
on now, please?
Yes, you can.
It's a very wonderful book, and I read it a few months ago for the first time. Okay, so and it's a book that when you read, you feel relief. Somehow you feel relief. You feel relief because a lot of people are consumed in thinking about the past mistakes. They think so much about the past mistake. Oh, if I've done this, not done this, and so the book is a very nice book, and the author did so well. When he got the inspiration in 1997, according to him, and finally wrote it in year 2000. A very wonderful book, and I so much love it, and I recommend it for everyone who has not read to go and read it. It's a very wonderful book.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. It is
So
a
I think I will
very,
stop.
yeah. I mean, it's a very great book. While I was reading the book, I was like, okay, Peter, this is someone's idea. This is someone's thought. It's not like what he calls truth. It's still his own opinion anyway, right? Because I have to bring in my science mindset of, oh, this is someone's opinion about life. I will
mhm.
take what I want to take. At the same time, see things of that broad mind. Yeah, yeah. But I think he did a very great job in trying to
He
explain
did.
things that cannot actually be explained.
All that you know, you just know,
Because those things are
you
very abstract, and we're trying so hard to give it an explanation. Is a job
Yeah,
I can give him kudos for, because he himself tried not to explain it because he tells you it's not explainable, and at the same time he's trying to
yes.
explain it.
No. A minute of a video where somebody was trying to explain the meaning of nothing, and it was just so funny. Like you're trying to define nothing, and nothing is like nothing. How are you putting words to these things? How are you trying to explain? Someone said spirit is spirit. You can't explain spirit. You can only experience spirit. So how he even managed to give words to these spiritual things, I really don't know. I don't know what
Yeah,
happened to
yeah,
him here. He
yeah.
did an awesome job, honestly.
Yeah, that nothing part, that part of the book where you're talking about nothing, space, emptiness. I was like,
Yeah.
okay. So how do you define nothing? Nothing is nothing. How do you define
Nothing is
space? Space
nothing.
is space.
This is
and it
space.
was and I was like, those that say they're studying space, like, how can you study space? Like, space is nothing. Yes, they're trying to something that does not. But anyway,
No.
let's kickstart the conversation. Yeah. So
Mhm.
for those joining virtually, let me even show this. Someone said the book comes as a mind energy of skill, but it tilts more to deep logic and reasoning. Yeah, Chikudi, I agree with you. Yes, it requires a lot of deep logic and reasoning. Okay, so let's start with living in the now, which was like the central theme of the book, talking about living right here and right now.
Mhm.
Like, how does one embrace the now? Like, how can we live in the now? Because that's the major thing the book talked about. So, Esther, do you want to say something about that? Like, what do you understand by living in the now according to the author?
Living in the now is to live in the now.
I love that.
In this very moment, right here, having this call, having this book review. So if I would want to practice living in the now, I would be here right now. My mind is not somewhere else, not on the load of work I'm here to complete, books I'm here to write, books I'm here to read, things I'm here to structure. No, I'm right here right now looking at Peter via a camera and looking at this. This is where I am. So living in the now is not ignoring per se, but not focusing on the past or the future. Whatever you're doing in that moment, just be present. I think that's the word. When you're in class, then in primary school, they'll call your name attendance, right? Say Esther, it's a present ma or present sir. That's a sign that I'm here right
Yeah.
now. I am here.
Yeah.
And sometimes maybe your mind traveled, you don't answer your name. Then you have to go back to the teacher and start explaining yourself that, oh, I was seated, but for some reason that I was thinking about, how am I going to wash my socks tomorrow? Blah 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 blah. So I didn't hear you. So
Mhm.
I think that just defines it. Take the attendance of life in that moment by being present. Just
Wow.
being aware. I would say that. Please,
Wow. I
I need to
love
write
that
that down.
phrase.
I did not plan.
Take
I did
the
not plan that.
attendance of
I need
life
to write
in
it
the
down.
present moment.
Hmm.
I love that. I love that, Esther. Yeah, yeah, I agree with you. Like, take the attendance of life at that present moment. I also wanted to document that down. Yeah, I think
Hmm.
that's a very good way to put it here. So, Rukere, do you want to say something about what do you understand by living in the now?
Yes, living in the now means focus on this moment now. That is all you have now. And when I read the book, I related to the scriptures. Jesus told us something, Matthew 6:27 down. He said we cannot add one cubit of hair to our hair by worrying about.
Oh, goodness sake. Why is the network?
Ah, network.
Okay, so yeah, let me continue what she's trying to say. I hope she's come back to say that. I think the author also referenced that scripture. Yeah, he said, which of you by worrying can add a
A
more
cubit.
cubit of air to your
Yes,
or to your
yes,
lifespan? So
yes,
even Jesus, according to the author, was like saying that you should live in the present moment, right? That's why it is
yes,
called present. It is a gift. It's a gift, something you must
exactly.
value, something you must cherish, and avoid
Mhm.
your mind from getting identification, right? Because I mean, at the moment, your mind cannot identify with anything because you are present. So because the mind loves to identify itself with something, it always takes you to the to the past. So for
Yes,
example,
yes,
if we are discussing now, my mind is not like, Peter, remember 2 weeks ago you're a terrible speaker. Oh, I'm like, okay, I think let me become cautious of how I speak. Instantly you just change how you are doing something, and
yes,
instead of I'm doing this, and you're like, oh, I'm doing this because I am that, and all these different things, and or maybe you're thinking about the future. So instead of you to enjoy the moment, you are worrying, the anxiety comes,
yes,
and you begin to fidget. Maybe you're doing a presentation, and you're like, what if, what if, what if, what this many what if, and you're not
yes,
enjoying the present
exactly.
moment. Or maybe you are waiting for you're on a trip to somewhere, and your boss arrives, is you'll be in a traffic jam. For those that stay in Lagos, traffic is like the other things. And then you're like, okay, what if I get to work late and my boss is at work already? I mean, you're stressed out before I actually even
Mhm.
get into work and start working.
Exactly. Yeah,
So,
that's true.
yeah, I think that leads to the fact that being present, living in the now saves gives you this mental clarity. I mean, it reduces
Mhm.
stress. It helps your general well-being. Like, for me, the book came very handy. Yeah, it came very handy, because I was experiencing some things. I was very busy trying to prepare for some exams and so on, and anxiety would want to come in. So fidgeting, like, okay, what will happen? What if this goes wrong? What that's good? No, there's a lot of stuff. But while reading this book, I was like, okay, no, that's the past. No, that's the future. Let me live right now. It's about now. I
Yeah.
try to tell my mind, stop thinking. I'm right here, right now. I try to remind myself, Peter, what am I
And
doing now? Once I
yes,
ask myself that
exact.
question,
Ah,
I,
that's it.
I just get that. Yeah, yeah. Can go ahead, Esther. Yeah.
True, true. I really agree because isn't it? It makes a whole lot of sense that mental stress exists. I mean, you carry something physically and your muscles send you the message that, I mean, pains, bro. You didn't have to carry that much load. But we don't realize that the same thing happens with our minds. We carry a lot of unnecessary things and necessary things. So maybe at this moment you have an exam to write, one course. Why not just focus on that one course? But no, you remember how you wrote the test and the test did not go well. You remember how someone told you that the set before the set before the set complained of how the lecturer was just this, that. And before you know it, you're having headache, not from solving calculus or doing something. Your head is banging just because you've traveled to like 5, 10, 6 years back through your thoughts. So
True,
our
true.
mind, we need to declutter. We need to get rid of a lot of things from the past,
Right,
from the
yeah.
future. I heard someone say that when you focus on the past, it's depression. When you focus on the future, it's anxiety. You just have to be here in this present
Exactly,
moment. And
exactly.
when you do that, there's no how it won't be clear. One of the reasons why things are clear is because of focus. So if we have focus, we'll have mental clarity. And if
Exactly,
we are
yeah.
mentally calm, definitely stress and likes won't be in our books. We'll be overall, we'll be well. If
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
okay mentally, you will be well physically. If you're
yeah,
not okay mentally, even so, it's just very important that we focus on
yeah.
what's at hand in this present moment.
Exactly. I agree with you. Like I 100% agree with you. Let me read that what he wrote in his book. It said nothing he said realize deeply that the present moment is all you ever have. Make the now the primary focus of your life. That's like just to reiterate what you said. And that was like in
Yes.
the chapter 3 of the book. Yeah, and another part is said nothing exists outside the now. Nothing ever happened in the past. It happened in the now. Nothing will
Yeah.
ever happen in the future. It will happen in the now. Like this is so paradoxical. Like
Yeah,
very
actually,
counterintuitive.
but it makes
I
a lot
understand
of
it.
sense.
Yeah, yeah. Actually, you're trying to say something. Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't want to cut you short. Okay, maybe it's network lag.
Yeah,
So I mean,
this
like
second.
that statement is you know, like there is no past, there is no future, there is just the
There's
present.
only, if
Like
you look at it, it actually is true in a sense because what we call the past and the future, at some point, they were the present or they will be the present.
mhm,
So yesterday, we called yesterday today.
exactly,
Tomorrow, we're going to call tomorrow today. So it's
exactly.
just a passage in time. Like we're in between time rafts, we are moving. So it makes sense from that perspective.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I agree with you. Like, I mean, that's the same thought I mean, that went through my mind. I was like, oh, so it's not so the fact that I'm saying that I want to be this in the future, I want to be that, shouldn't it's not like he's trying to say we shouldn't, I think we'll still get to that part of the book. I don't want to get ahead of
Yeah,
myself, but you know,
yeah,
wasn't saying like, oh, we should not think about the past or we should not think about the future. We should let
true.
those things be and focus on the now. Because if we focus on the now, we can, transform whatever we want to transform or change whatever we want to change.
Yes,
Or if, and
yes,
again, you said if your mind wanders into the past, just stare at it. Be a watcher. That's what I was talking about the concept of being a watcher. Like you're watching, you're not
yes,
trying
yes,
to identify with it.
yes. Just
I think that's where we make
looking
the
at
big
it.
mistake. For example, let's say that okay, let me give you a very practical experience. Uh, in Nigeria, I speak freely. I speak any I want to speak, and I even teach IELTS, and whenever I'm speaking with my like students, and they're like, "Oh, Peter, I like the way you speak. I like the way you say your words, the dramas you use, and everything." And they're like, I was like, "Oh, feeling myself." But when I came to the US, the first few days I spoke with some people, and they're like, "Can you repeat yourself?" You know, I kind of identify myself without me, like unconsciously identify myself with
Yeah.
being a person who doesn't know how to speak.
Hmm.
Whereas the issue
Wow.
is like I don't know how to speak. Like they expect me to pronounce some words the way they would
Yes.
pronounce it, right? So
Yes. Yes.
that's
Yes.
instead of me being a watcher of the situation, I identify with the situation. So I would
Hmm.
be in a
Hmm.
place where I have some like things to share, and I'll just be silent for no reason because I don't want to be repeating myself
Hmm.
over and over. Like
Yeah.
I,
Yes. Yes. Yes.
but
That's true.
later on when I was like, okay, Peter, let's look at what is happening. It's not like you cannot speak; you speak very well. So then I had to take some courses on some use some apps that pronounce words the way the American pronounce it, like and use these this their way of speaking,
Yeah.
yada, 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 like this, this different way of speaking. I was like, okay, like doing that. I was like, oh, they were like getting me very clearly. I was like, oh, okay, also,
Yes. Yes.
so you can see that that is how we take our past and we make an identification out of it. For example, you failed an
Yes.
exam and you tag yourself a failure. Whereas if you look at the now is that you're not doing exam, right? The past is that you did an exam. So if at all you have to reflect on the past, you have to reflect on it, not to identify with it. You have to watch it and like, okay, I failed this. Okay, why did you fail this? This is this. Okay, this.
Yes. Yes.
And
You learn.
you don't call yourself a failure by that experience. And
Very
the same
true.
thing
Very
applies to
true.
success. Exactly. You achieve this thing does not mean that, oh, you are successful. You just happen
Hmm.
to achieve. I think he also said that in that. I think that's chapter
Hmm.
9 of the book, where it was demystifying between happiness and success, non
Hmm.
being non not existing and stuff. But yeah, I mean, like I learned so much from the book. Let me just pause this at this point.
There's so much to say. So
I'm
much to
telling
say.
you. Yeah. So I think let me show what Chico said. He said you can't seek to understand what it means to live in the now if you don't first understand and own your thoughts.
Hmm.
Yes, this mindset of a thing is so powerful. It's even beyond whether spirituality or not, because the Bible says, "As a man thinks, so is he," right? And even James Allen, when he wrote this book, "As he thinks, so is he."
As a
Um,
man thinketh,
as
so
a
is
man thinketh, yeah.
he.
It's really revolutionized the entire world because there's really power in thoughts. This mind, when the Bible also said that the mind, the art is how did they put it? The art is the most deceitful of all things. Who can
And
discern it?
yes, who can know it? Yes.
Exactly. So, and the book really gave perspective to some concepts that some part of the scriptures were saying because he referenced the scripture. That's why we're bringing this up. And he also referenced some text from Buddha, some text from things from Hindu text.
Then
Yeah.
certain yes, they brought some different yes.
Okay. So, Rika, can you speak now? Let me show you have a good network.
Yes, so by the grace of God, I think so. Yes, I pray so.
Okay. So, what are the practical ways to incorporate mindset into your daily life? Like after you read the book, what are the practical things you're able to take from it for yourself, so that we don't delve too much in the philosophical world of the book?
One unique thing I learned is that he said that um, what we call failure, be something like that, are
Yeah.
things that we refuse to accept. They are the things that we do not accept. Is what they call that is what you say that some things to accept to be. Like for instance, now take for instance, somebody says, okay, People will say maybe you are too short. But you've come to accept yourself that this is how God made you, and you are perfect and unique. You are the image of God. So anybody who's taller than you is too tough for your liking. And whosoever that is shorter than you is too short for your liking. So you got to accept yourself the way you are and be the confident like that. But people pass through anxiety because they refuse to accept what they cannot change. Yeah, that was the way I put it. So in life, there are things we cannot change. That for instance, time has maybe somebody refused to do something years back and is not seeing the need why he didn't why ought to have done it then. They accept it. I didn't do it now. Okay, what can I do now? Let me start from here I am now. And then maybe you set the ball rolling to start the program or whatever you intend to start, and you keep moving. That's it. But if you think worrying about the past, you are consuming the future, and time is just going like that. So there are things that we can't change, we accept them, and then we build upon it.
I
And then
love that.
another thing again,
Continue. Yeah. Can go ahead. Yeah, please.
another thing again, one thing I've come to realize too, when the man refuse to accept maybe their just let go of their past, it's a sign of pride because maybe they felt, oh, I won't have made any mistake. I wish I didn't make mistake. But you see, we're human being, and human being meaning we're still learning, being BEING. So we're still in the process. Anybody on earth is still learning and still passing through processes. So nobody is perfect. We're all being processed by God Almighty. God is still working through us. That's why we're still alive today. So whatever that could not be done in the past should just be. Then focus on the now and build a life from here. Tomorrow is bright, tomorrow is great, and tomorrow is God sent. So that's just it. That's my take.
Yeah, good one, good one, good one. Yeah, I think it reminds me, when you talk about the concept of failure in accepting things, and I think in the chapter 10, when he was talking about the meaning of surrender, um, it was, there was this question. I love the way the book was based on like question answer kind of segment, and it was like, oh, you're talking about acceptance or surrendering. Does it mean that you should just take things the way
Yeah,
they
I
are?
don't like
Like there
to.
would have been innovation, there would have been discovery if people had accepted. Just
Yeah.
imagine when the Wright brothers were trying to make the F light, and people were like, "Oh, I think
Mm-hmm.
God designed man to only walk and not to fly. The birds are meant to fly." And they challenged the status quo, and now we are enjoying. Imagine if I was to come to the US, I would have maybe have to walk for so many distance, but now we can move from different places to. So that's why I'm taking this approach is like, it's not really saying we should accept things the way they are. It's saying that you should not identify with those things, right? Let it not be your identification. Like that's why I say the book is very counterintuitive, very paradoxical, because at the same time you have to identify with something, right?
Yes, yes. It's just
So
knowing when to see it from that point of view, how to apply it to different contexts, when to agree and when to disagree at the same time.
exactly, yeah, yeah. So like that's different. So for example, like when you give that illustration of being short, so like short is relative. Nowadays, when I'm talking with people and they say something, I'm like, it's perspective. Like whether good or bad, it's still perspective. Like it all depends. So like so it's not about you trying to change. It matters what you're trying to change and why you're trying to change it. I think that's what he said. Like if you're trying to change something because you don't accept it, or maybe you feel like it's the society demands this from you, and that's why you're changing it, then you are just moving from pain to more pain, right? Because
Exactly.
that what you're actually desiring is the inner peace, and which you cannot get external from external source. It can only be gotten from internal stuff, right? That's why I think did he reference this Bible scripture when he said, "The peace I give to you is not as the world has given to you." That's the word of Jesus. And if you relate it, for example, you could say someone that maybe let's say he has, maybe he has height issues, or let's just say he or she's very, let's say she now is short, and somebody else is saying to another lady that she's too tall. So you can see that if you're trying to get this external sense of identification, then you have missed
Ah,
it, right? But if the change
I'm
is really
very
something, I
confused.
just want to become a better version of myself, then
Yeah,
it makes much more sense.
yeah.
Okay, let's move to the next part of the book. Um, the pain, body, and emotional healing. I love this part. In fact, this part made me
Huh.
understand why men, the he talked about the female, the menstrual cycle. Uh, and then I was having a conversation with a friend, and we are talking about some things about, like, while maybe a particular human race do much better in some aspect of life than another race. And then I was not talking about like the accumulation
Hmm.
of things and this and that. I was trying, so it's good to read books. It broadens your mind.
Yes.
So let's talk about like the concept of pain body and how unresolved emotional pain influences our lives. Okay, so let me start with Yeki this. I'm sorry, Rukere this time before we come to Esther. Yeah.
Okay. Healing from pains and emotional trauma.
Mhm.
Well, this is what really caused so many breakdown in people's life. You will see maybe a very wealthy man and all that, but you will see that at the time maybe lack emotional intelligence, and people don't separate their minds from their emotions. There's a saying that if you allow your emotions to keep having a grip of you, before you know, you lose yourself completely. So
Hmm.
emotions are not real feelings. They are not permanent. How would I put it now? They're not the real thing. It's just a reaction based on that time. You understand? For instance, now you see maybe somebody you see, maybe the person just had this mind that okay, maybe fair ladies are more beautiful. So you just go somewhere, see a fair lady and say, this person will be a good wife, without really getting to know the person. I mean, based on that thought he had then, he just okay, let me just go. And he said, when he go in for that kind of person, they will start having problem later. So what happened? He allowed the emotions in him to take hold on. That is, he allowed emotional sensitivity to decide on permanent issues. You understand? When you're taking this, you have to be permanent, like marriage or maybe business, career. You don't allow emotions to drive you. You don't say because my shadow friend read the law, then I must go and read law to know. The artist must sit down, analyze yourself. No, you said disconnect from the issue and focus on yourself. I love that so much. So you disconnect from that issue of your friend and career and focus on this person now. This person, what do you really want? What does my God who made me want for me? So you separate your emotions and all that from you separate yourself from all those burden of the past or whatever people may think about you, and focus on you now. Now, what do you want, and how do you go from here now? That is it. So we should not
Yeah.
allow emotions to take hold on us. No, you always think, if I had done this, people will say this, people will say, you have to disconnect yourself from those things and focus on you now so you can make the right decisions and also get a better tomorrow. Otherwise, people keep focusing on emotions, they will keep recycling those same problems they are regretting of in the past. If they can let go of those emotional thoughts and trauma and focus on their will, there's what they call willpower. Everybody has that willpower. God put it in us as human beings. Let your willpower not direct you. We're not really the emotions. I thought I'll stop here for now. Thank you very much.
Great insights. Yeah. That allow your emotion drive. I think we are 100% emotional being, and that's the problem. That's the big problem. Like that's the biggest problem humans have, and it's what has led to we undervaluing ourselves, we overvaluing ourselves, we are siding to ego. And it reminds me of this. We read Marcus Aurelius' book some time ago. Not, I read that, but we
Yeah.
read one by what's his name again? Ah, trying to remember the book title, but it contains a lot of stoic, concepts. Uh,
Ryan Holiday.
yeah, right. Holiday. The ego
The
is the
obstacle
ego
is
is the
the
enemy.
oh
Yeah,
okay, he
and
was the enemy.
yes, and the first one we read for that ego is the enemy is can't remember. I forgot it.
Me
But
either.
do you
Because
recall?
by the same Ryan Holiday.
Yes, yes, yes. The one we read before
Read
the
the obstacle is the way.
obstacle is the way. Yes, the obstacle is the way. Yes, yes. Thank you. So there he was trying to talk about perception and
Mm.
observation. They're two different things. Like your perception and the observation, or perception and reality. Like
Yeah.
we try to give a sense
I
of
think that
meaning.
book is about ego. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay.
It
That
does.
book is about ego. Uh-huh.
Yeah, yeah. It connects everything. I think he also referenced. This author also referenced Marcus Aurelius' book. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me give this analogy that he gave. I think almost the ending of the book when he was talking about his
You
dog.
don't talk about that loud.
Okay, sorry, I didn't get it. Which part?
No, continue, right?
Okay, okay. Okay, when he was talking about dogs, like he said, he has two dogs, and they will scream at each other, fight at each other, like fight with each other for, like, let's say for few minutes or few seconds, and they just dust it off, like after some second, like just dust off,
Nothing
as if nothing ever happened, as if they did not even
nothing
fight,
happened. Yeah.
because it actually didn't happen. Like, now is they are thinking about now, they have left the past,
Yeah.
and if you understand the power of now, you'll see why I'm not forgiving people. This hatred where we have that
Yeah.
we create in our mind, the sense of unforgiveness, this jealousy, envy, and all the stuff we keep in our mind. They are just disturbing our inner peace and putting us in a state of despair, right? Because those
Yeah.
things are the things of the past. Your emotion is trying to make a meaning from it. For example, the dog that he gave an example of, like, will forget that, oh, I fought with this dog the next yesterday, I fought with this dog the day for yesterday. It just continue his life, and that's the way we should live life. Like, try to analyze the situation and
Yeah.
not make life out of the situation,
Out of the situation. Wow. Yeah.
right? Like, analyze the
Yeah.
situation. What's the situation? You don't have money. Let's say, for example, you don't have money. And now, making life out of the situation is saying you are poor.
Hmm.
That you can see,
Actually.
and that's the problem. Or maybe you have money, and you making life out of the situation is saying you're rich. Whereas,
Hmm.
you know, life comes with its ups and downs, because that's the way life tries to bring a state of balance, right? I love that part when he was talking about the state of balance. Not being too overjoyous because you're this, or because, I mean, just enjoy the moment. If you're sad, you're sad. Just enjoy the moment of being
Yeah.
sad. Not that you're a sad person. You're just sad because your emotion is feeling
At that
something,
moment.
and you're now watching the emotion, like, oh, this is what is happening. Not that you're a sad person. You're just sad based on what your emotion is telling you, and then you try to bring yourself back into reality of, okay, that's past. That's some few minutes away ago. I think that's fine. What's happening now? Now, am I sad? No, because when you come to that state of consciousness, um, the the pains and all the stuff that we experience fade, and that also relates to, like, emotional healing. Maybe from your, for example, for, let's say, for the guys or for the ladies, in terms of relationship, you broke up with, maybe let's say a guy broke your heart, and you see another guy, you're trying to judge him or her based on
Yeah,
your
based
past
on that.
experience, right? Instead of being in the present now, healing yourself. And then okay, let me just stop here. Esther, I think you said something.
Okay. The pain body is a body. It's like someone living inside of you. Someone that can control you sometimes. Someone that is living rent free. And that person, that pain body, is basically just an accumulation of pain, past hurts, things that have happened over and over and over again. So now it has branches and roots. From what he said, Eckhart, the pain body can be dormant or active. And that really made me understand a lot of things about how people relate to each other. You've known the person for maybe years, and one day something happens, and that's where you hear the phrase, "You don't know me, oh." Like you've not seen. I will show you my other side, and that other side
Pain
sometimes
body.
is this pain body. It's
Yeah,
as if someone else manifests through this person. You're like, I never knew you could be like this. What happened? Then you realize that that pain body had been dormant, but something triggered it. Innocent remarks. You just say something innocently, and someone will start crying, and you'll be
exactly.
confused. Like, why? What did I say? It wasn't what you said. It was what was in the person that could relate with what you said. Then there's something else he wrote that struck me. That um the pain body, it feeds on experiences that resonate with its kind of energy. Pain can only feed on pain. Pain can never feed on joy because it's
Mm,
indigestible. And that also made me understand how life can just be going in cycles for people. The same kinds of experiences. You meet the same kinds of people. You jump from one flame right into another flame after thinking you've been delivered. Because of this pain body in you that keeps creating scenarios, circumstances that can cause more pain for it to feed on. So you've
true,
been
true.
hurt a lot. Maybe you were abused or something. You now find you'll be asking, why are people still in toxic relationships? Why can't you leave that relationship? But that's all the person
Addicted
has
to
ever
pain.
known. Yes, exactly. That's the word you use. And you have to be that's now the dissolving part. But you'll be like, how can somebody be addicted to pain? The person might not even know. But there's something, and Eckhart really gave me a word for it, the pain body that is always looking for more pain, so that it's like this gigantic monster that's getting bigger and bigger, feeding on your pain and it's getting bigger. So that was just that
Yeah,
was it for me. I really got to understand why
yeah,
things are like that in people.
exactly. I agree with you. Let me just give a very simple example. Uh, let's say you are in a meeting and you guys are trying to come up with a strategy. Let's because the Elite Wickeders Club is not just to discuss book. We're trying to see how we can apply this stuff to our personal life, right? And to
Yeah.
our professional career. So let's say you're in a meeting now, in a strategy meeting, right? We're discussing ideas. So,
Okay.
Esther, let's say you said that, oh, let's invite, okay, let's invite Whiskey to our event,
Yeah.
right? And I was like, no, I don't think we should invite Whiskey, or maybe let me start again saying that. Just say, okay, why do you think we should invite Whiskey? And your mind just flash back to, oh, this guy likes to confront anything I say. He likes to
Yeah, you
challenge.
are.
Don't even know that I'm the
Yes,
president. Anything I say is final. Well,
exactly.
I mean, you just asked a very you know
Innocent question.
innocent question, and you're like, I know, Peter, you will speak.
I
You
knew
already
you would
know,
ask.
right?
I knew you would ask that question. You would never agree.
You will not answer your question. You just begin to make sense out of nonsense, right? And like,
Exactly.
yeah, I just want him to come. Doesn't matter whatever you say, you think, or I don't care. Like this is what
Exactly.
I want. Just follow it. And you be like, no. And this is what caused issues in the workplace. A lot of issues. Your
Yeah.
subordinate is asking just a simple question, and now your
Very
pain
simple.
body is now associating that question to a past experience of, oh, this is
Yes,
what
yes, yes.
happened, this is what he used to do, this is what he used to see. And realize
Yes,
it's just
yes.
like I had a recent issue like that, and we're having a meeting, and I was like, okay, I told the person, I was like, oh, you should have, did you seek our consent before like going ahead? And the person was like, oh, I'll just go ahead and tell the person not to come again. I was like, how does what I said relate to telling them not to come?
Create into that. Like,
And the person just trying to write off everything. And like, I know I don't know anything. I like, gosh, no, that's just the pain body trying to make meaning out of no meaning,
meaning, yes.
right? But if you look at
Exactly.
it holistically, like, okay. And me, too, I was like, oh, at some point, my body was like, okay, this person just like to do overdo. Like, no, this is not overdoing. This person is trying to help us achieve our goals early and try to connect
Yes.
that person that, yes, you are doing great job. However, we just like to be carried along, but fantastic job you
Mm.
have been doing. And this is what I suggest to add to this. And it's fine if it does not work, but and I also try to reason from where the person that have made that
Person
selection. Okay,
came.
oh, I think I can see why you made this selection. Oh, it makes a lot of sense. You can see because you're trying not to associate yourself with the personality, but just the objective stuff you're trying to the objective facts before you, right? And again, it goes back to relationship. I don't want to say this, but I don't know how true it is for ladies. You could say a lady maybe because you did. I mean, you've done a lot of fantastic stuff, and that very present moment that you said something that she does not like, and she'll be like, "You never loved me. Anytime you never loved me." Like she just right away. But she's not actually trying to say that she don't love me. She just associate with the pain body at
Yes.
that moment and forget everything. So in relationship, let's go back to relationship now. I think Eckhart did a very good job talking about how we could
Mm.
have partners that understand the power of now and how they can help us bring ourselves into this
Yes.
attachment, this
That's
sense of,
very important.
oh, for example, when he was explaining that, let's say um, your wife is experiencing menstrual, cramps, this pain and everything, and the pain body during that period is very high. And let's say you guys are both on this spiritual journey together. She can react based on the pain body to just little things. She just get upset by so many. That the fact that you understand the pain body, understand this stuff, you would not consider the reaction to your wife, right? You will consider that reaction to the pain body and the situation, right? Like if I were to say she's a nagging woman, you don't say, oh, maybe because she's
Yeah.
just going through some menstrual pain
Yes.
and
Yes.
it's added to her, that emotional trigger and all those
That's
stuff.
true.
And then
I
you now
even
begin to
had
tell her,
an
yeah, yeah, you
experience.
got
Too.
it.
And in that line, I think someone was talking to me, and those people when they are talking to you, they just for some reason have to keep slapping you. They are speaking to you with their mouth, but they have to. You get what I'm saying? They are
Yeah,
tapping you, and at that point, my entire body was paining me, and I didn't want to react in the wrong way. So at that moment, I just paused. I held my breath, and I was like, okay, this person means no harm. He doesn't even know what he's doing. He doesn't know what I'm going through. So I cannot
exactly.
blame him for acting like this. So what am I going to do? How am I going to act in this moment that is not going to escalate anything or make our relationship strained? So I just took a deep breath, let it out, calmed down, smiled at him. I was
Mhm.
like, you have absolutely no idea what's going on right now in my mind because he has not read this book and I cannot start explaining pain
Exactly.
body and what's going on. I just had to, in that moment, control the situation the best way I could. And I was really amazed. In a few seconds, I was fine. I was happy. I was bubbly. And I think that's one thing I've learned from this book that I've
Yeah,
practiced. So,
yeah. I mean, the situation could have just spin off into something else, and then you guys can start
exactly.
keeping a trade and like, oh, this lady, she's
And
too
he
this.
wouldn't even understand, like, why are you making a big deal out of the whole thing?
Exactly. And then for the following evening, you are reflecting about the entire event and living in pain throughout the entire day,
It's
and start
just
thinking, you know,
a
it's just,
cycle.
seriously, the mind is really powerful. It's
Yeah,
you know,
honest.
you get to a point where you are in when you say people are like enslaved by the mind, like slavery of the mind is a very big thing. Like
Mm-hmm.
if we are not really careful, like if we don't seek enlightenment, if we don't pursue inner peace, depending on the religion you know we pursue or we follow, um, there's tendency of this mind to rule you instead of you ruling the mind. The mind is
True.
meant to be a tool for your usage and not you becoming the tool of the mind. Right? And you see people who
True.
say like, I don't know why I'm doing this stuff. I love I think in the introduction, he said a word that really struck me. We always say this word, we say, I cannot live with myself any longer. So the question is, who is the I and who is the myself? Are there two entities? So,
Like,
yeah, so you can see that, like, we are, this is our mind trying to, make two instances from just one, right? It is you.
mm,
It's not like I cannot live with myself, like with the myself. So that's why is the book was trying to emphasize that whenever we're in that state, we are in the state of unconsciousness because the mind is the one
yeah.
ruling over us. But when we're in the state of consciousness, there's this inner peace where we dictate what to think. And if at all the
Mm-hmm.
mind is trying to reflect on something, you're able to shut it off and say, focus on now. And if at all you need to think on that stuff, you become a watcher, just
Mm-hmm.
observing what the mind is thinking and not identifying with what the mind is thinking. It's still,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if what I'm even saying makes sense, but it's very paradoxical, right? Yeah.
It makes sense.
So let's look at this question. So, how can understanding this concept lead to a greater emotional freedom and personal growth? Ricky, do you want to say something? No, I think Esther, I think you've spoken, right? Oh, do you want to
Okay,
say?
Yeah.
first of all,
Okay, yeah, you can go ahead.
um, okay, can I go on?
Yes, you can, you can, you can.
Okay, male and female, they are two distinct, the unique species that God made, and according to I think a book I read, I think if I'm not mistaken, that should be Atomic Habits. I think they
Mhm.
said that at a point when a male child is forming in the womb, one part of the brain is blocked. So men think rational, they think straight. While women think all side, that is they think all side, and can be very vast in so many things. So and this affect the way they think and the way they feel. Now when a woman is communicating, she's communicate most time for affection or just to gain attention. But men communicate for information. You know, if you tell a man, um, maybe I'm having pains. If you say, "Oh, pains, take the drug, take." You understand me? Just take the
Yeah,
drugs. You're having pains, take. But the man will not understand. The woman needs more attention. That oh, sorry, you are feeling pains. Oh, sorry about that. As it belong is feeling. You know those. Although that is what she wants. But she will not say it that way. The way I don't know you're getting me. So
yeah,
and this affect the way they think. It affect their emotional build up and all that. So it takes a man who understand how women operate or how women think to be able to interpret when women speak at times. I think there's a book I recommend for most men to read. The title is, I think, The Way of the Superior Man by David Jada. I am reading it now. I just walked into the book few weeks ago. The Way of the Superior Man by Jada David, and it's a very good for all men to research. You can understand how women think, because many people have problem with women, maybe in terms of leadership position, because they think that they are too boxy and all that. But there's a way God wired women, and if you understand that a woman operates, you enjoy a leadership under a woman. If you understand, you won't have problem with her. Honestly, you understand when she means yes and when she means no. You understand me? So that is
Yeah,
why it just is, so male and female, they are two different, they're unique species. God made them
yeah.
uniquely to fit each other.
Yeah.
What one lack is what the
No, you can continue. You can continue,
yeah.
please.
So, okay, so that is it. And talking about now, so women communicate most time for affection, attention. You need attention now. She might say something else to mean what she might not say, like I explained now, maybe pains. She will expect you to tell her sorry. Oh, has it been paining you for long? Are you feeling better? Do you want to sleep? Do you want to eat now? But a man will just say, "Oh, take the drug. Go and get the drug and take and relax." You understand me? So,
Yeah,
if
yeah. I
it
mean,
takes a man who has patience to understand these things, so it
yeah,
takes a
yeah.
man who has patience to understand these things.
I agree with you.
So,
Like, it reminds me of this
yeah,
book we read last month. I hear you, the power of validation.
mm,
The That was by Michael Sorensen. So
yes,
that's a it's a very broad concept. The concept of how a lady speak or how a man speak, and now we're in the times where you can't really decide. You can't really phantom how a lady speak or how a man speak, because there's this blurry line again. Like, man, acting like, I don't say, I can't even say acting like, because we don't know what it is. So I will try to be like the writer Eckhart, try not to make something out of nothing. So yeah, but I agree with you. Like, it's all about communication, but understanding the fact that, oh, this is this person's perspective, this is where this person is coming from, and trying so hard not to make your thoughts, make uh, identification with the person's perspective. What I'm trying to say is that, for example, maybe like you explained, she's trying to say this, or let's say in this, let's flip it now. Let's say the guy is saying, "Oh, just take drugs," right? And you're like, "Oh, he does not care." That's your personal ego trying to make sense out of it. Your ego trying to say, oh, the fact that he's not responding the way I want him to respond, the fact that he's not doing what I expect from him, because you have built an expectation from the past, and because it's not, meeting up with that expectation you have created in your thoughts, then you label. That's the identification. You now label the person as he doesn't care or she doesn't care. And that's all the issue with this, this emotional trauma, this emotional pain that people have. So it's very broad. Like the guy said, the spirituality is something that is very counterintuitive, and it just requires engaging practicality than trying to demystify it or trying to make sense out of it, because it's usually don't make sense. But yeah, yeah, and I agree with you. Yeah, so it really helps for emotional freedom and growth. For the sake of time, let's begin to run. Let's begin to run now. Mindfulness as a path of enlightenment. The role of mindfulness in achieving spirituality, according to Toll. Um, how does mindfulness help in transcending the mind and the ego? Yes. Uh, what challenges might one face in practicing mindfulness consistently? Let's quickly address this. Oh, so Esther, can go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, mindfulness. When you're mindful is like you are full. Your mind. How do I? See this man. I appreciate it so much because I don't know how to explain this thing. But being mindful basically means
Be present in
You
the
are
moment.
aware.
Yeah.
Exactly. You are aware. So you know that, all right, I am not my pain body. What two separate beings? My pain body is a backlog of experiences. I am me. And one of the things that can hinder or try to stop this is the state of unconsciousness. It's like it runs on autopilot. And if you're not careful, it will just keep going on and on like that, like you said. So if we are truly going to be enlightened, we have to be mindful. That's where the watcher that you have been mentioning, the silent watcher, comes in. When you're mindful, you can track it. You can say, ah, I know you are this. This is not what I want. This is not how I should be or how I should be acting. And one challenge is the ego. It's like, this is all I've known. This is how I've been acting for years now. You can't just come and tell me that I should stop. Who
Exactly.
are
Yeah.
you? Imagine your ego asking you, who are you to tell me that I can no longer think like this? I can no longer act like this. I've been this way for over 2 decades. Now you want me to change all of a sudden. So it can be almost like sometimes I feel like there's a full blown war going on inside of me. I mean, imagine people with guns and swords, slashing and all, because I'm trying to resist certain things. I'm trying to change certain things. I'm trying to be aware of what I'm thinking, what I'm saying, how I'm reasoning, what I'm going to do. Then there's also the challenge of falling back, because mindfulness sometimes can only maintain it for a few seconds or a few minutes before your mind goes brrr again with all the plenty things that you are thinking. So these things, falling back, or should I call it something like withdrawal now, it it's a very big challenge. Imagine you trying to be aware of yourself. You're aware for 10 seconds. Then 30 minutes later, that's when you become aware again that where have I been for the past 30 minutes? Sometimes I just get lost inside myself. I'm like, wait, I was thinking about this thing. That's the last thing I remember thinking about. All of a sudden, my thoughts, they've run. That's one of the things that really sets me back personally while practicing mindfulness consistently. Just tend
Yeah.
to lose balance, but then rebalance again. It gets easier with time though,
Yes,
but
I agree with you.
that's it.
Yeah, I agree with you, Esther. Like, you know, according to him, mindfulness, like being fully present, is, let me put it this way. I've been trying to, register for yoga classes. Reason being that this mind is always thinking, always manufacturing stuff
Mm,
24/7, such that if you tell it,
like,
can you keep quiet? I want to sleep. I don't know if you've experienced this.
ah,
I've experienced something
very
like,
well.
let me share this with you. Like, there was a particular period I had difficulty in sleeping. Even let me say even till now until I started reading this book. Because now if I want to sleep, I just tell myself I want to sleep. I tell my mind I am sleeping now. Because normally I'll be on the bed. Before I started reading this book, I'll be on the bed. I'll roll this way. I'll keep thinking, keep thinking, keep thinking, keep thinking, such that I need to pick up my phone, look at something, and maybe just listen to anything until I sleep off. Because my mind is very busy. And in fact, it is a problem when I decide to sleep early. Like most times I sleep around 2 a.m. So I'll just be on that bed and keep rolling, keep thinking, I'm like, can you just keep quiet? I want to sleep. I'm just telling them like, just keep quiet. He's thinking, okay, yeah, look at the way you reacted to that guy today. Okay, you need to go to work. Okay, I don't finish this experiment. Too. You need to do this experiment tomorrow. Okay, I was like, can you just keep quiet? To tell you, the way our mind is very, very engaged, and mindfulness
Very
is all
busy.
about, trying not to think, but be yourself, trying to
Yes.
enjoy. present moment. You know, if you are like now we're talking, while we're talking, I can be thinking of, okay, I need to maybe make food in the next hour, right? Or do this. And it's, from this book, you begin to understand that the concept I can multitask is actually a concept of um, lack of understanding because your brain is not designed to multitask. You multitasking is like you are putting yourself into a state of pain and suffering because you are not being mindful at the moment.
Mm.
If you are, and that's the issue with with family. Everybody's on the dining table, and instead of them to eat their food and be mindful with the food they are eating, everyone is engaged with their phone. Everybody,
Phone.
you're eating, you're pressing your
Phone.
phone. You're not eating the food. You're not enjoying the moment of fellowship, that moment of your family bonding, all those stuff. Like maybe you're on
Yeah.
a video call with your parents, or like I do in my case, or and I'm trying to finish your homework. It doesn't make any sense. So mindfulness is about be there at that moment, think about that stuff at that moment, enjoy your present moment. And
Mm-hmm.
but let me quickly talk about like how, because you have talked about the ego part. Let's talk about like the challenges that affect us from being mindful consistently. It's just simply our mind is busy. And
Yeah.
more of the reason why I really want to practice yoga, in the sense that uh, you are trying to tell your mind to be silent. That state of nothing. I'm thinking of nothing.
Mm.
Tell your mind to like think of nothing. Like it will still try to make sense out of the nothing. But that
Yeah.
state of is really really important, because that's the only way we can get creativity. In fact, the writer said, and even some
Yeah.
science books I've been reading, they're like, currently the science world is losing creativity. People are just reproducing stuff. And the reason is because even the art world is
Mm.
losing creativity because people are constantly busy and they're not at that state of mindfulness where they can see things the way they are, not the way they think they are. Yeah, so
Yeah.
a lot. Rick, you want to say
A
something
lot of
quickly to
stuff.
this before we move to the next one, the controversy, so that we can begin to wrap
Oh,
up. And by the way, sorry to cut it short. Let me check the chat to see if there are comments that have been left from people because I can't see any chat at my end here. So let's engage with the conversation. Okay, thank you. So you can go ahead, Rick.
okay. Well, being mindful all the time may lead to lack of appreciation to God first and to those who have helped us, because sometimes we are just mindful of now. You might forget those who were good to you in the past. You might forget what God has done for you in the past. And you begin to focus on now how to move on, how to get the next. But there's one thing I've learned from so many, so that call like mentors or people I learn words from, people I learn things from about life. And one thing I've learned is appreciation, thankfulness. There's need to be thankful, no matter how small the thing is that someone has done for you. For the person to create that time to attend to you, to leave their own issue, to attend to your issue, I think they deserve to be appreciated. And when you appreciate them, it makes them feel honored that, oh, what I did was valuable and all that. But I just mindful of now, without sometimes you visit the past to think of the good times. People have helped you, people have done this for you, without no focusing on the maybe the pains that maybe you neglected or something. So there's need at times to still focus on the past positively, to learn one or two things and to appreciate those who have helped you in the past. There's need for that. So
Yeah,
just always mindfulness is good, but at least there's a need for us to visit the past once in a while to take the positive lessons and appreciate those who have helped us.
I
That's my
like
own take, and that's one controversial point of view.
yeah, I like that part of gratitude, right? I think the writer said a lot about that. Right now, I know of people who they are working so hard. Like, there's this drive to, for success, for the career success. Like, I need to be the best version of myself. I need to achieve this, such that you lose the joy of the present moment and always focus on the things that are to come. You know, I know of someone that, let's assume, for example, you got a first class, you did not celebrate it, you did not like, you're not happy with it, you're like, but I need to get the job. You got the job, I need to get promotion. You know, you got the promotion. I need to get this course done. Like, I need to finish this course. You finish this course, yeah, still no rest, always, up and down, always trying to achieve something. I need to do this. And no, the problem is not like you trying to achieve things. The problem is that you are tying your happiness. You said, "Oh,
What
I
is
will
them?
celebrate when I get
Yes, so
this."
those
Now you get that
things.
stuff. You're not even celebrate. You're like, "I need to get this," until you die. You find out that, guy, you did not live your life. You kept chasing the shadows, and that's why, people that pursue success, they end up and they end up with frustration, because, like, they were thinking that if tomorrow comes, I should be able to have this sense of satisfaction. And tomorrow actually comes. They got what they wanted, but satisfaction cannot be gotten, because satisfaction is not, or fulfillment is not external driven, it is internal driven, right? So, and it also resonates back with gratitude, because you will not be able to appreciate the value of your present, the now. In fact, you will not be able to appreciate those who have worked with you, because you're always thinking of tomorrow. You're always thinking of how to be this and that and this. Recently, I celebrated, like, personally, I celebrated like a year. That was around August 8th. I celebrated a year in the US, traveling to the US, and I was, you know, reflecting, practicing mindfulness, and the next thing that came up was gratitude. Such that I reached out to some people that, they were part of my journey process. I was like, oh, it's now a year ago. Like, I appreciate what you've done for me. I appreciate it. That shows that, oh, this guy is mindful. And they're like, after 1 year, you're still thanking me, for this. It's just, it's the way the person will value you, or the way the person will perceive you will be different, right? Not because you care about the way the person wants it to, I mean, the way the person perceives about you, but you're just practicing the sense of gratitude to the present. If at all you think about the past, you're always resonating it to how it makes you value the present, right? Let's say, you're enjoying everything good now. Fine. What do you do? And maybe your mind flash back to the days when you're drinking Gary, and no sugar to even drink after it. It's just dry. And then in your mind you're like, oh boy, thank God for now. So what does that, it implies two things. Okay, I'm grateful for now, right? I'm grateful for what has happened. And the other part it also implies is that life is in cycles. How do I prepare for the days when I won't have much, or when I don't have much? Because that's the way life balances itself, right? For example, another perspective also is, there are people who are always doing, 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 right? And consider relaxation or rest as being lazy. And if you are in that state, the body is designed to go through ups and downs as a means to reset itself. And that's why, if people are explaining the concept of hurricane, volcanoes, they're like, say, they don't call it like, some people don't call it like natural disaster. They call it a way of the earth resolving itself. So let me go back to my speech now. If you decide not to go have rest, the body will force you to, experience illness, sickness. what is the goal of that sickness? So that you can rest and you can go through that, break that cycle of balancing yourself. I mean, it all falls back to like, be grateful for the time, know when to rest, know when to enjoy the moment, know when to relax, be mindful. Anything you are doing, know when to focus, right? Yes. Yeah, that's it. So let's go through the controversies in the books. Some areas that I felt were controversial. Like one is detachment from the mind. You know, let's look at the practicality and the desirability of detaching from the mind and the ego, as the writer suggested. And is it really realistic to minimize the mind's role in daily life? Could this detachment lead to passivity or lack of ambition? Yeah, so let's start you on to go ahead. Yeah. Let's look at this particular topic now.
Hmm. This one, it's possible, but doesn't look like it's practical for you to do it for a long period of time at a stretch. Because especially if you're involved in work that has to do with thinking, you have to think. If you are doing a 9 to 5, and let's say for 6 hours you have to think, that means for 6 hours you have to engage your mind. But there's something he said that you switch between that state of no thought to thought. It's just being able to say, it's like when you finish using a tool, you set it aside. Then when you need it, you pick it up again. So he calls
Exactly.
the mind a tool. Yes, we can have been able to last up to 5 minutes at a stretch where you have absolutely nothing on your mind. You're just there. Sometimes I try to focus on my breath, especially when my mind is going haywire. I say, hey, come back, come, just come, come. Then I focus on in and out, nothing. But of course, I can't keep that up. I have things to turn in, I have things to write, I have messages to send. So I have to think. So detachment of the mind is possible, but not for a very long period. When we say minimizing the role of the mind in your daily life, we definitely are not talking about when it comes to creativity or action. It doesn't mean it should be passive. Oh, I'm sorry, but I'm not making use of my mind today. You tell your boss, I'm sorry, sir, I won't be able to turn in that document. I'm trying to be mindful here. I'm trying to detach from my mind. You need to get ready to detach from that job too because you'll be fired. Like fired very fast. So when you are not being creative, when there is no need to use your mind actively, then we can talk about detaching from the mind. And usually when you do this, when you start thinking again, you feel as if you just slept. You feel refreshed. You feel ready to go again. And I don't think it's going to lead to passivity or lack of ambition. Instead, it will lead to refreshing if you know how to do it properly. You get creative when you need to get creative. When you're not doing anything that requires active thinking in that moment, don't just think about anything that comes to mind. Relax. Detach yourself from your mind in that instant. When there is need, attach yourself again. So that's just it for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. So, while you're speaking, I was jotting some things that you're saying, and I learned this concept from Jim Rohn. He said, "Learn to think on paper." That's
Mm.
very practical stuff I use every time. So I have this. Okay, I have sticky notes. I'm trying to bring up my sticky notes. I have so many sticky notes in my bag, in my reading desk. What do I use a sticky note for? Is that whenever I'm doing something and my mind is moving here and there, vacillating over things, I instantly pause. I just pause, write what I'm thinking, take it off my mind. Because I mean, what comes to your mind might be very important, right? It might be something that you don't need to forget. But if you keep that stuff in your mind while you're doing something else, you will even lose both. Because You will end
Yeah.
up forgetting that stuff you were trying to not to forget. And even what you're trying to do, you are not, productive in it because your mind cannot focus well. So a very good habit we should have is to always think on paper. Whenever you're doing something, whenever you have something that needs to be done, write it out. So, for example, whenever before I start my day, I just write what I want to achieve today. I try not to remember them, just write them down. Then what I'm doing at that moment, I focus on it. And if at all my mind tries to, bring up something else, I try to, write them down so that I can finally concentrate. And also, you said, be present. That's what I just explained. Be present in what you're doing. Then use the mind as a tool and not as you. You are not your mind. Your mind is a tool. That's very that's a very audacious statement to say because even the man will be looking at you like this. "Eh, look at this one."
After all I do for you, after everything you put me through, you have the audacity to say you're
I
not
mean,
me and I'm not you.
yeah, the man will be looking at it like, "Ah." Right, because he's always thinking, and so you must make sure it becomes a tool, um, and learn to detach from it. Because if you don't detach from it, that is what causes hypertension. We have a lot of young guys out there that think they have hypertension. And hypertension is not maybe because of maybe they have blood sugar issue or maybe some health issues. It's because of not knowing when to detach the mind and allowing the mind to keep thinking throughout the entire process. And hypertension is not a factor of whether you are poor or rich. The poor has it, the rich also have it. So what's the difference? It's just this issue. I mean, not even the difference. What the similarity is? This learning not to detach your mind. Because of time, let's run again to another issue. So he also talked about like I think was it chapter 8, 9. It was chapter 8 and 9 was really already switching to some as if you should not pursue success. Um, And I get the point he's coming from, but don't let me see what I want to see it now. So let's discuss um, Tolle's critique of traditional goals such as career success and material wealth. Is this perspective too extreme, or does it offer a necessary challenge to societal norms? How do these ideas resonate with your own values and goals? So, Rukere, can go ahead. What's your own perception of traditional success according to the way Eckhart Tolle wrote it here?
Okay. According to the way he puts it, traditional success. Well, first of all, we should one thing I always know when I'm reading books is that I put my mind, although I have the open mind to learn from the book, but I put my mind across that one, this person is his own personal perspective. And there are
Very true.
some books I've read, 9 books. Okay, I'm going on. I'm just trying to, before I go to the main point, 9 books that I've read some time ago, and before you know, the man delved into something else. And I think that book, I think No More Mr. Nice Guy also. I read the book and it was talking well about how to build your self confidence, how to know what you want and go for it. But it got to a point and it was encouraging so many, what we call immorality, based on our own religious background. So one thing here, what this man is saying at a point is that material wealth, focusing on pursuing material wealth or what they call traditional wealth. Everybody wants to be wealthy. Like I read a book some time ago, was it a few days ago, that there's money everywhere, but there's no wealth anywhere. That wealth is money that has been success planned, achieved, and there was a way I try to differentiate it. So, but people, there's no way that people won't have goals for the year. You understand me? A man without a goal is like somebody just playing football in the open field without a goal post. So everybody must definitely have a goal, and it could be financial goals, academic goals, career goals, or business goals, whatever. So, but and you cannot have a goals without thinking of how to achieve them periodically. Maybe every month, okay, next 3 months, what would I have, how far would I have gone towards achieving my goals? Maybe next 4 months, how far would I have gone? And you can't do that without thinking into the future constructively with a positive mindset, with a positive result in view. So there's no way that somebody will just be going through life without having goals and have to achieve those goals in the set time, if possible, by God's grace. So his own controversies that one we should be mindful of now, but at the same time, you must still think of how to get those goals that you set to yourself, realistic goals, and not just arbitrary goals or maybe goals based on other people's opinion. So, but
Yeah,
people must have goals in life. That's people must have goals in life. So it could be financial goals, but what happens is that when people are thinking of their goals most time, they are thinking of fear in view, maybe fear. Okay, what if the economy cracks by then? What if this will happen? They don't think it positively. Oh, by the grace of God, this time I should have gotten this and gotten this. No, you think with positive results in view, not with negative views. Whatever the goal, whether financial goals or academic goal, you think positively ahead of
yeah.
time. You have to you plan based on positive results ahead of you.
Yeah,
That's it. So focus.
good. I like the perspective you even brought in here. So let me read out some part of his speech or his writings that relate to things. So we can also see from another perspective too. So he said, in the ego mode, the mind is so dysfunctional. Is always concerned with keeping the past alive because without it, who are you? That's a question, right? It constantly, that's the mind, it constantly, or the ego, it constantly projects itself into the future to ensure its continued survival and to seek some kind of release or fulfillment there. So, what the future holds for you depends on your state of consciousness now. What you do to others, you do to yourself. When I will explain this later. I'm coming. When you want to create a greater future, you need to live now in a greater consciousness. Okay. So let me just stop here, right? So let me stick to the ego part where it said the mind is trying to project define you from your different experience. For me, when I read the book, I don't think he was trying to debug or yeah or refute material wealth, career success, and the likes. He was just saying that don't be defined by them, right? You being defined by them is making an ego out of it, right? And I've noticed something for some in the academia world, based on like my research work. Like you'll see this professor who has achieved so many things that you are trying to achieve, and he does not make his achievements his identification. Now, let me explain how what may I perceive as making your achievement your identification. He says, um, if you are in if you're in the midst of people you're discussing, you're always referencing to your achievements. Oh, this is this is this. Or maybe you say something and you're like, you should accept what I said because it is me, Peter, that said it. Because I achieved this, I achieved that, or because I am the CEO of this, I am the CEO of that, or because I am a professor of this or professor of that. Oh, I can't do that because I am this. Oh, I can't do that, like I was at this place, we're having like this, enjoyment feel. And you see the person, you sit down on the floor, like sit down on the floor, just and discussing with you, like nothing, like. But when we become so attached to our achievement, we begin to make sense out of nonsense. Like you're not your achievement. Like the achievement is just part of your experience, kind of things that
Yeah.
have. Another way to put it, I'm trying to be practical with this stuff of how we like, how we attach ourselves to our success. For example, another example is trying to recall. Let's say, yeah, another thing again I observe in the academia is that, for example, I might be a professor with like over a year. I might be a professor with like 40 years of experience. I've achieved everything that's to be achieved. But when I'm presenting, right, when I'm presenting to you, I cannot boss over my ideas like, oh, I said this and did it. Did it. Like, you just present your research or present whatever you want to do as somebody that has not even achieved anything in terms of maybe science can ask you some questions and you think about the questions, you give a very good response. You're like, oh, that's a very good question. And you are looking at the question, not what, who is this person that's asking this question? Or maybe the person, say challenges your thought process, like challenges what you have said, and you're not like, oh, why are you to challenge what I have said? Do you know what I have achieved? Right? I think that's where we miss it all in terms of success. For example, I think even T.D. Jakes said this in his books. He said people get attached to their experience and make their experience really bad, which life is not so. A typical example is that, oh, because you are a preacher of God's word, you cannot be an actor, you cannot be a filmmaker, right? During that period, people challenge in that how you say you're going into movie industry, you want to start making movies, or the fact that um you are a preacher, you cannot be a musician. You know, you know, I am first Peter. I am first, according to you, he said, I am first TV Jakes before I became a preacher. And people are like challenging that how will he be a preacher and is into real estate investment because he has a lot of real estate. He is very active as a real estate person, as a business. It's like, we attach ourselves and make something out of nonsense, things that are not you. You are first Peter before you became a PhD student. You are first this before you became this. Always remember that you are for that. Because whenever we remember that, and life goes through a circle, a circle of ups and down, we are not pressured. We are not pressured. We just see things as what they are, and we're able to navigate it. That is why you see, if you see someone that was previously successful and it goes through some tribulation, some challenges, you will know if that person is able to navigate from that point of failure and get back to success. That is when you will know the fundamental principle guiding his success goals. Because if the person has attached himself to the success, he will not be able to come out of that failure that he later experience. Because it's like, oh, how will people not define me? Like, but if he has not, but let me give another typical story. Um, the the Tiwa Savage issue of a sex video being leaked. Someone that does not understand the concept that where that's coming from, will be like, oh, there are a lot of musicians out there. That is how their career ended after such leaked sex videos. That is how the career ended. Like they are nowhere to be found because they have defined that experience as who they are. Whereas, like you are of maturable age, you are not like you are young. Like everybody acts sex. Like, it's not like it's just that yours was late. So what makes it different? Like when you look at it from things objectively and not what people think, you'll be able to go through life's challenges easily and not make your situation become your life, or your life situation become your life. I think that's what it's trying to say. That do not make the fact that you have material wealth, or you have failure, or you have success define who you are. Just be Peter. Just be yourself. Like, and I've gave different examples of things I've mentioned, like the case of my professor, the case of people I've seen, the way people approach things, and the case of musicians challenges. Yeah. So but at the same time, it's when people get it wrong and they're like, oh, it's like a sin, you should not pursue something. And I think he's not saying that we should not, challenge society norms, we should not um, pursue goals, write goals, but don't let them define you. Because let's say you have written a goal that you want to be this. If that goal defines you and you did not achieve it, what do you call yourself? A failure. Are you a failure? No, you did not just achieve the goal because maybe something happened. But if you identify yourself with the goal, you will not be able to move forward because you're like, oh, the fact that I did not achieve this one, I cannot achieve the next one. You can see where identification becomes a problem. So yeah, let me stop here at this point there. Yeah, so let's just quickly round up with this final part of which is the hot button. Because from spirituality was religion, he was, talking so much about Buddha, Jesus books, about the Bible, the Old Testament, some books from Hinduism, from books from the Quran. I think he referenced no, I'm not sure he referenced the Quran, no. But he referenced so many religious books, spirituality stuff. And it was as if he was trying to make a blur line between spirituality and religion. So what do you think? Um, Esther, what do you think? Do you think he did a good job or he was blurring the line?
I think he didn't even draw a line. He didn't draw any line. He didn't draw it. He just there was no line. Like his bio said that he's not affiliated with any particular religion. So he took it's like a buffet. He took from different places and merged into one. He didn't openly challenge any religion or spiritual belief or doctrine per se. Neither did he say, all right, I'm creating my own doctrine. This is what I think, and everybody has to follow this. He just put his own perspective, brought resources from different religions, different spiritual organizations or groups, as you may call them. And he said, from this, that, this is what I would say about this particular topic. So he didn't challenge, he did not undermine. As a matter of fact, he tried to throw light into some things because I was reading some things about he used scriptures, Bible scriptures, and he would explain it in another way. And I'd be like, haha, where are you getting these things from? So he explained it in the way that he knew, like the aspect of peace. Now, he would just bring an entirely different perspective into that piece of a thing. Or which verse did he quote again now from the Bible? He said something about was it the rapture, something, 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 how that is going to be sort of like an enlightenment from within. I've heard that before, but we're like, I'm hearing this again from this man. So he just brought his own view into the already existing religious beliefs. And also, I think he brought some new things, or maybe I just have not seen them before. He brought some new things. He didn't challenge them, he didn't undermine them. He just merged, created, innovated a point of view from what already exists. So that's what I think he did. Right.
Okay.
That is for me.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah, he did a very good job of trying to match stuff together. So quickly, Ricky, you want to say something for that before we wrap up the session? So, what's your own perspective towards, at some point I have to put on the group that I know this book might be a bit contentious for, we have a very mixed audience. We have people who are Christian, we have people who are Muslim, we have people who don't identify with any of this group. So, it might be a bit contentious, but I think you did a very good job. Yeah. Okay, you want
I
to say
think
something?
okay. I think I try to make the book all encompassing in the sense that people with from different background will read the book. You know, like you read the book, you read the only scriptures, and I really appreciate it for that. So he just tried to encompass, I think, nature belief in all religion. That's one. Many religions they talk about now. I think there was a book we read here that talks about coming home to yourself or something like that. There was a book we read about communication some time ago, and one of the focus line was coming home to yourself or coming home.
Yeah,
There
the
was a way
power.
they put it. Eh?
Is it the one of the power of writing it down?
No, I think it was a Buddha book. But it was about communication,
Oh,
about how you practice pain, you come home to yourself and all that. I can't
yes.
remember the book,
I
but I
remember
know the
that.
focus was. You can remember the book. I can't recall the name, but the focus was about Buddha, how to come home to yourself, you think about yourself and all that. So this author tried to, pick the similarities in all those religions and merge them together. And one truth is that the truth in it is that there's no need for being anxiety and there's no need for being depressed over what you cannot change. So it's just a matter of getting on for where you are now, also the right direction. That's just it. So
Yeah,
he coming to, but personally me, as for me, personally, I love books that because what I've seen so far, the true holy book I reverence so much is the Holy Bible. So I love books that build their minds on one, the knowledge of God. That is the only knowledge I know. And so I respect books. That is, I value books that build their truth on the Holy Bible. There was a book I read, I think last month. They call it No More Mr. Nice Guy. And the man he was writing well to a point, and but there was a point now got to now it was not encouraging masturbation. I was surprised. He said for a man to understand himself very well, you have to masturbate. I was like, no, what kind of controversial write up is all this? But in my own, I picked the important points in the book and I led the rest. So that was just the same thing I did. So coming from different religion and all that, he's just trying to gather. I believe he has made his own research from different religious backgrounds, and then pick the similarity in them. And so about being
yeah,
focused on the
yeah.
now and all that. So
Yeah, I agree with you. I agree with you. Yeah. So, I mean, like, you did a great job trying to, blend this together. The part that even got me very, very, should I say, interesting or intrigued was when he was relating that piece of the with the state of being that God, when Christ is saying that the peace I give to you is not as the world gives, um, and he's saying that Christ is speaking about that peace is not the generic peace, he's speaking about the state of being. And when thinking about also joy not being something you can get from outside things, it is something that is within. Fulfillment comes from within, all those stuff. And it really explains spirituality that we are designed to get out of ourselves and live in the body. There's this lot of, I love that Pavin was talking about the body of a thing, where religious statement have been saying that we are spirits and we are not a body. And I love the perspective you brought to that. People say that man is a spirit and not a body, and making body evil, whereas you're to live in the body. And body is not actually the evil thing, is the mind and how you could, live in that state of mindfulness in your body. And so many things that he raised up that I felt he handled them intelligently well, and really shows a sense of not intelligence, but spiritual mastery, right? Then I think I know during the point of I see something about like just I mean an area where I feel people now have issues is that, for example, if I tell someone um, I want to do yoga meditation, and they feel like, but you're a Christian, why do you want to do yoga meditation? It's demonic. You're like, me, there's a difference between spirituality and religion. So the is the state of meditation, meditating. does not have anything to do with whether you're Christian or you're not a Christian. It's, being able to distinguish which one is, you know, religion or which one is spirituality, right? But I feel it's still a blurry line because religious is just, I mean, for me, I like not to practice religion. I like to practice, a lifestyle and spirituality, um, which means I see my Christianity as not a religion, I see it as spirituality, right? And if I see other techniques that can help me dig deep into my spirituality, I see them as a tool and not identify. You can see what we're talking about the mind, right? You hear information from another, let's say religion for example, and now your mind is now trying to identify with it. And, that's the problem that makes us hear different religious views, and instantly your ego becomes up and you begin to antagonize such world without even caring to think of what to say, because your mind is trying to identify with what is being said instead of watch, observe what you said and being objective. Yeah, but I think he did a great job being objective and doing what he said, doing, like not identifying anything. But it also again falls back to perspective of what your convictions are. I have more convictions, we all have different convictions, and it drives us, and we all get reward for that. Yeah, I think we've come to the end of the session. For those who have been following us so far, would like to see your comments. See how you've enjoyed the session so far. I think we are now 2 minutes late because we have gone beyond time. So what are your biggest takeaway? Let's wrap up the session. Rukere, what's your own biggest takeaway from this book that you want the audience to remember, or that you would want to remember?
Okay, first and foremost, all you've got is now, and don't tie your life to events, don't tie your life to maybe occurrences. Maybe you could not meet up with a task, and that doesn't mean you're a failure, so that's just it. And focus on the now. All you have to do is now focus on now, build your life on the now, and think positive from now. That's my biggest take.
Yeah, great, great,
With
great.
this, we have less mental issues, with this, we have less mental disorder and all that, emotional trauma, people committing suicide, because they feel they could not deliver much. So they think about what people think about them. They don't focus on their themselves, their well-being, and what God is thinking about them. So they focus on now, and they don't tie their life to events. Like for instance, yesterday I woke up to my office this afternoon and I was like, he faced some course and they want to quit.
Sorry,
I said,
sorry,
I said,
sorry. I would
okay,
like us
okay, okay, let me know.
to station. Yeah, just
Okay, well,
just
sorry.
yeah.
Okay, sorry,
Yeah,
okay. Thank
yeah,
you.
yeah. Thanks. Good of time. Yeah. So Esther, what's your biggest takeaway? Maybe two or three. Just maybe
Uh,
quotation or words. Yeah.
the takeaway is that you best learn from the past and prepare for the future by maximizing your present. So that was a very big takeaway for me. No need dwelling on the past or even the future so much. I can control both ways, or especially the future, by focusing and being fully aware right now, every time. So that was it for me.
Yeah. Great. 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 I agree with what you said. I agree with what you also said. Right. So my own biggest takeaway is that I should realize that the present moment is all I have. I read out what I wrote here. Is all I have. Make the now the primary focus of my life. Another one is that the mind is a superb instrument if used rightly. If used wrongly, however, it becomes very destructive. And then the present moment holds the key to liberation, but you cannot find the present moment as long as you are your mind. This is talking about identifying with your mind instead of your mind being a tool, right? I think that's a very big one for me, and I'm sure the audience, our fellow tea brights, have enjoyed this book. I hope they read it. I hope they finished it. Like I did, in case, like most of us did, because it's really, really changed the way we think about things, the way we approach things. And so thank you so much for staying up to this moment, like 5 minutes into your time, like extra time. I really, really be, believe you enjoyed the entire conversation. I hope you enjoyed the present because we did a lot of stuff present together. I love the fact that someone did it. I hope you enjoyed the now that we discussed here, right? So,
Yes, so
yeah, see you next month, September, for another book review session around the same time, the last Saturday in the month of September, in every month. I think we'll be focusing on finances and books that relate to finance. And if you would love to be part of the Elite Book Readers Club, you can just check out our LinkedIn page. You'll see a website there that you can, a form that you can fill, and then you'll be added to our mail channels and our WhatsApp groups for that communication, right? So thanks so much for staying tuned. See you same time next month. Thank you so much, Esther. Thank you so much, Ricky.
Thank you
I
very much,
really
Rita, for
appreciate your
having me.
presence.
Have
Yeah,
a very
I
nice
really
time.
enjoyed the conversation.
Thank
Yeah,
you, Rukele, for all the insights you shared.
yeah. Okay,
thank you
bye.
too, Esther. Thank
Uh,
you. Bye.
good
I love
night.
it. Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Yeah, enjoy the rest.
Yeah.